Hello, welcome. Happy Monday. Thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gumansing. In our top story, a shooting that happened early Saturday morning on St. Thomas hit the territory hard. The victim, a young bystander who had happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. The VIPD is urging the person responsible to come forward, but residents are upping the ante, offering a growing amount of reward money for information. News 2's April Knight has more.
The Virgin Islands is in an uproar after a shooting claimed the life of a young Virgin Islander, an innocent bystander who was walking with her friends when struck by a stray bullet. The shooting happened outside the club around 3:30 in the morning.
Approximately 3:10 a.m. this morning, officers doing normal patrols outside of Crush nightclub responding to shots fired at approximately 200 to 300 yards from the nightclub. They discovered a young female who had sustained a gunshot wound to the stomach. The officers immediately began life-saving measures on a 20-year-old female victim that was identified as Miss Bria Evans.
Bria Evans is remembered by many as a sweet young girl, active in the community, loyal to her friends, and never got into trouble. She graduated recently from Charlotte Amalie High School. Crush nightclub condemned the shooting and offered a $1,000 reward for any information. That offer was quickly matched by other donors. By Sunday, there were up to $7,500. This is not the first time that shootings have occurred in this area. In 2012, when Metropolis Club occupied this space, a bystander, 22-year-old Keith Dawson, was killed in a shootout. A year later, Metropolis' license was revoked because of security concerns, including illegal firearms being recovered there. Shootings in the vicinity of nightclubs have led the VIPD to enforce a nightclub closure time. On St. Croix, police officers are sent to monitor nightclubs at 3:45 a.m. to make sure that they close at 4 a.m. It's an initiative that's backed by Crucian club owners themselves in support of the anti-crime initiative. This is also in effect on St. Thomas. Acting St. Thomas Police Chief Jason Marsh has asked for whoever is responsible to turn himself in and made pleas to the community to say something if they know something.
Turn yourself in and make this right. This young lady lost her life for no reason at all.
Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
And according to Chief Marsh, the investigation is still ongoing. Please call 911 or Crime Stoppers USVI at 1-800-222-TIPS if you have any information. Our condolences to the Evans family and friends. Meanwhile, Police Commissioner Delroy Richards also held a press briefing with the media at the Patrick Sweeney Police Complex in Frederickstead to inform the community of other ongoing initiatives and investigations. Here's more.
I want to commend my police officers. I want to commend my investigators. I see the long hours that they put in, okay, in working on these cases. But they're not giving up. I see the hard time. I see the resistance, okay? But they're not giving up. So we are working from all angles to try to control what we're seeing in the territory. It's very expensive. It's taking a toll on this department. But trust me, I think we probably have to go broke. But we got to bring some semblance of order based on what's been happening in this territory.
And we will have more from Police Commissioner Delroy Richards as he speaks about other ongoing initiatives and investigations in the territory. Governor Kenneth Mapp executed an extradition request on Saturday, July 30th for Mr. Kamoy Karaspi, who is wanted for murder in the first degree in the territory as a result of the December 10th, 2015 murder of Kadeem Ojan on St. Thomas. Mr. Karaspi is currently being held without bail in New York State after a plainclothes police detail stopped him with two females after entering a building with a clearly posted no trespassing sign. Here's more.
After running the background check on all three individuals through their local system and the NCIC, the White Plains police arrested Kamoy Karaspi on an outstanding warrant for first-degree murder issued in the Virgin Islands. Governor Mapp, through the Attorney General's office, has presented the extradition request to the governor of the state of New York.
Police say they need your help in locating Kaleem Ramsey, wanted for burglary second degree. Take a look at the picture. Officers say the 24-year-old St. Croix native frequents Lorraine Village and Grove Place. He is 5'6", weighs 150 pounds, brown eyes, dark complexion, and black dreadlocks. If you come in contact with Ramsey, police say you are urged to call the Domestic Violence Unit at 340-712-6094. The Chief's Office at 340-778-2211, or Crime Stoppers. The battle between Governor Kenneth Mapp and presiding Superior Court Judge Michael Dunston continues. The governor is trying to remove Dunston from his post as presiding judge, but according to Dunston, he has no such authority. After a recent court ruling, Mapp has taken the next step. NEWS2's April Knight has more.
Governor Kenneth Mapp has appealed the district court's decision preventing him from installing Judge Harold Willocks as presiding judge of the Superior Court, and in the process kicking out Judge Michael Dunston. This according to a press release by Government House over the weekend.
To quote him, "I have made no attempt to remove Judge Dunston as a judge of the Superior Court, only to seek new administrative leadership for an improved administrative strategy to move the court in a more positive direction."
Governor Mapp insists that he has the authority to change up the court's leadership.
To quote the governor, "I acted pursuant to local law, which granted me the authority to designate the presiding judge of the Superior Court."
Local law says that the governor can appoint the presiding judge, but it does not address that he has the authority to remove one. Mapp's decision, according to Government House, stems from Dunston's poor performance in making sure the court dockets move faster.
The governor said he maintains that the leadership at the Superior Court did more harm to our local judiciary than it helped. After evaluating the backlog of criminal and civil cases that have been weighing down the judicial system of the territory, the governor said it became clear that administrative changes were necessary.
In June, Dunston sued Mapp, calling his move an egregious abuse of power. On July 23rd, District Court Judge Curtis Gomez issued a ruling, a permanent injunction, in Dunston's favor. Now Mapp is appealing the case at the Third Circuit Court of Appeals in Pennsylvania, where the governor hopes for a better outcome.
"I am confident," he said, "that the appellate court will review this matter expeditiously and will agree that our local courts are proper and competent to review our local laws when a dispute arises."
Reporting for NEWS2, I'm April Knight.
In other news, Delegate to Congress Stacey Plaskett's campaign has filed a complaint against Plaskett's primary opponent in the delegate race, former Senator Ronald Russell. The Plaskett campaign filed the complaint with the Federal Elections Commission on Monday and calls for a review an investigation into both Russell and his campaign's activities, specifically Plaskett's campaign assets that Russell has not registered as a candidate for a federal office with the FEC, did not file a campaign finance quarterly report due on July 15th, and did not file a pre-election campaign finance report that was due on Monday, July 25th. Conrad Francois, the second territorial campaign manager for Virgin Islands, Plaskett, stated that they requested the FEC to fully investigate these actions and include a full accounting of all contributions received and expenditures made to Russell's campaign. Turn our attention overseas. Once again, comments from Donald Trump are stirring controversy. The Republican presidential candidate criticized the Muslim parents of a slain American soldier. The family is fighting back as Trump refuses to back down. Stacey Cohen reports.
Have you even read the United States Constitution?
Khizr Khan could not have known what a firestorm his words at the Democratic National Convention would create. The father of an Iraqi war veteran killed in 2004 drew Donald Trump's ire with his remarks. Trump even took aim at Khan's wife on ABC.
She had nothing to say. Maybe she wasn't allowed to have anything to say. You tell me.
Ghazala Khan had a lot to say about that.
My religion or my family or my culture never stopped me saying whatever I want to say.
This is a proof of his ignorance and arrogance.
Some prominent Republicans like Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan are distancing themselves from Trump's comments, the latest in a series of controversies that have yet to dissuade most of Trump's supporters. Senator John McCain blasted Trump in a very personal statement and praised Captain Humayun Khan's service, saying, quote, I cannot emphasize enough how deeply I disagree with Mr. Trump's statement. But so far, no Republican lawmaker has withdrawn support of the candidate. Veterans of Foreign Wars released a statement bashing Trump, saying to ridicule a Gold Star mother is out of bounds. Trump has since called Captain Khan a hero on Twitter, but has not apologized for his comments. In Washington, I'm Stacey Cohan reporting.
A couple in the Phoenix area is accused of abandoning a 2-year-old boy outside their home while they went out to play Pokemon Go. Authorities say the child was alone for up to an hour and a half while the parents played the augmented reality game in the nearby neighborhoods and parks. 25-year-old Brianna Daly and 27-year-old Brent Daly are charged with child endangerment and child neglect. Authorities say a neighbor reported finding the child outside the home Thursday night, barefoot and dirty, out in hot temperatures with no water. They found a phone number and called the father and told him he abandoned the boy. They say he responded, "Whatever," and hung up. The parents returned home an hour later and they were taken into custody. The boy is now in the custody of the State Department of Child Services. Keeping our eye on the economy, food shortages are widespread in Venezuela, and people say every day is a fight for survival. And now Amnesty International is condemning a new government decree to put people to work on government farms. The decree was buried in a 48-page government publication. It comes directly from the desk of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. The vaguely worded decree says the government of Venezuela can force both public and private sector employees to work in the country's fields for periods of at least 60 days. This work period can be extended, the decree says, if circumstances merit. Starting with the late president, the socialist Hugo Chavez, Venezuela nationalized many companies, foreign and domestic. Many of those companies have shut down or are no longer producing at the level they once did, which has created shortages of many products, including food and staples. Amnesty International says the decree effectively amounts to forced labor and calls it unlawful. Here's a look at the stock market watch at the New York Stock Exchange. The Dow down 23, NASDAQ up, S&P 500 down. Coming up on NEWS2, the latest on the weather and some hurricane season reminders. We'll be right back. Flash flood watch has been canceled for Puerto Rico and the USVI as the threat for flooding rains has diminished after the weather we were expecting this past weekend. However, high rip current risk continues for the northern, eastern, and southeastern coasts of Puerto Rico, as well as for Vieques and St. Croix. Thunderstorm activity associated with a strong and fast-moving tropical wave located over the east central Caribbean Sea about 200 miles south of the Dominican Republic has increased and become significantly better organized overnight, and we'll keep an eye on the weather. Be sure to tune into our weather forecast later on in the newscast. Vitima teamed up with the American Red Cross on Holland Redfield's show earlier this month, beginning of hurricane season, to share some important information residents need to know as we prepare for the Atlantic hurricane season, of course, which runs till November 30th. The American Red Cross of the VI stands ready to lend a hand, but they say they also need your help. Here's more.
Also like to encourage the public if they like to volunteer. The term goes, we helping we have to be able to stand on our own 2 feet for at least the first 72 hours before help arrives. So we're encouraging public organizations, private organizations, businesses to partner with the American Red Cross to help us to do the job of preparing.
How do they volunteer? How do they get a hold of you?
They can call us.
Slowly.
Yes, they can call. They can call us at 778-5104 on St. Croix, and on St. Thomas 774-0375. Miss Darylyn Bell is a disaster specialist at the Niski Center, and on St. Croix we're at Estate Castle Coakley.
Innovative Cable TV St. Croix had experienced technical difficulties since Friday afternoon, and numerous channels were off air due to equipment failure at the head end. We are happy to report all services on St. Croix are back on. This service disruption was addressed as innovative technicians worked diligently to fully restore service. Innovative Cable TV apologizes for any inconvenience this may have caused its viewing audience. For cable TV or phone repairs, Innovative customers calling from landlines should dial 912. Customers utilizing wireless phones can reach the service center at 340-778-1742. The embattled Sugar Bay Hotel is taking another hit, this time over its taxes. The Virgin Islands government has filed 3 tax liens against the resort, one for $860,000, another for $1,085,000, and a third for $1,059,000. This is the latest in a string of setbacks for the hotel. The biggest issue led to the hotel being taken to court when, starting in January, it started laying off employees intermittently, and each time just below the mass layoff threshold. Terminix has offered to pay $87 million to the Delaware family seriously sickened by a pesticide at a U.S. Virgin Islands resort last year. This is an update. The company said in an earnings report Thursday. About $3 million related to the family's claims have already been paid, and a tentative settlement agreement has also been reached relating to any of the civil claims, according to Service Master Global Holdings, the Memphis-based company that owns Terminix. In addition, the company in March said it would pay $10 million in fines and restitution for using the banned chemical methyl bromide, a highly noxious and odorless gas, at units at the St. John Resort, where the family was vacationing in March 2015. The Environmental Protection Agency prohibited the chemical, which can lead to nervous system and respiratory damage, for residential use in 1984. Stephen Esmond, wife Teresa, and their teenage sons fell ill not too long after checking into their rooms, which was above a fumigated unit. They were brought to a Philadelphia hospital to recover from severe respiratory trauma. The resort's owner, Sea Glass Vacations, has said it was unaware that Terminix was using the banned chemical and said it ended its contract with the company. BVI Emancipation festivities, otherwise known as August Monday, were in full swing this past weekend in a landslide fashion at the multi-purpose sports complex in Roadtown. Erica Creaky defeated Reba Thomas, Mindy Paul, and Lakeisha Claxton. Creaky's posed there with the Premier, Dr. Orlando Smith, and Minister of Culture, Myron Walwyn. The next step, Miss Universe pageant. The 21-year-old Miss BVI, who also won a $7,500 cash prize and a $25,000 education grant, also won Miss Photogenic, Best Cultural Costume, Most Poised, Best BVI Promotion, Best Swimwear, Best Talent, and Best Evening Wear. Meanwhile, August Monday in the BVI saw a lot of carnival revelers. In a carnival-like atmosphere, they filled the streets of Roadtown at the crack of dawn as persons participated in the annual Rise and Shine Tramp. Many hit the streets for the parades earlier today, the biggest highlight of the festival. Senator Tregenza Roach said the celebration is an appropriate time reflected in Virgin Islands history. August Monday commemorates the emancipation of the enslaved in the British Virgin Islands and other British Caribbean territories on August 1st, 1834, which preceded emancipation in the Danish West Indies by 14 years. St. Thomas's Roosevelt Park was filled with the sounds of sizzling Latin jazz, smooth reggae, and a variety of musical styles over the weekend. As International Capital and Management Company, ICMC, they hosted Saturday's expanded Jazz in the Park installment, featuring Grammy-nominated percussionist and drummer Bobby Sanabria and Quarteto Achete, along with St. Thomas's own St. Groover's Band, Songstress, Shanice, and reggae artist Tia, both from St. Croix. They kept the large crowd grooving as residents and visitors moved from booth to booth along the vendors' row, sampling local treats and purchasing arts and crafts. Pam Love and contemporary inspirational artist Derek Tavernier added their unique creative musical flavor. Plans for the next Jazz in the Park installment are already in place, scheduled for Friday, November 4th. Be sure to stick around. Your News 2 AccuWeather forecast comes your way next.
Well, Sandy, we are going to be continuing to watch this tropical system here. Not yet a tropical storm, but it's looking like it will intensify into later tonight and into tomorrow. Here it is on our satellite. This is going to continue to impact Hispaniola and even into Haiti as we head into tonight. And that's going to include some heavy rains for DR and also gusty winds continuing to press towards Jamaica, which also will start to feel impacts by this evening. Now, notice we're pretty clear in the Virgin Islands. That's really how we're going to be staying over the next couple of days. So once that tropical wave continues to press off to the west, really allowing things to clear out. A few passing showers tonight, overnight low of 82 degrees, but for tomorrow, mostly sunny and a little bit on the humid side, our daytime high at 91. Lower 90s coming up in St. Thomas, plenty of bright sunshine here, a little bit more humid, and that's going to be the case across much of the region, including near St. Croix. Mostly sunny skies, our daytime high at 91 degrees for tomorrow. Take a look at our marine forecast for the Atlantic-facing beaches, waves running between 4 to 6 feet, and our winds are out of the east between 10 to 15 knots. So boaters do want to exercise just a bit of caution due to the breezy conditions, but other than that, things are looking pretty quiet. Our waves are running a little bit higher than the past couple of days, and that's again due to that tropical wave off to the west. Winds are out of the east between 10 to 15 knots, also for the Caribbean-facing coastline as well. Now, as we check out our extended forecast into the middle half of the week, we'll add in the chance for a spotty shower Wednesday into Thursday. Then by Thursday night and into Friday, our next tropical wave going to be moving through the region. That'll increase our moisture and the chance for a thunderstorm on Friday. Highs, though, stay in the 90s. Sandy, back to you.
Thanks for that. Time for our News 2 weather picture there by Allison Phipps, 9 years of age, representing the E. Benjamin Oliver Elementary School, including some beautiful detail there, Allison. Very talented. We see the sunshine and the horse about to jump over right there. Good job. Send us your News 2 weather picture too. News 2 Innovative Business Center, 4611 Tutu Park Street 300, St. Thomas VI 00802. That is all for this edition of News 2. Thank you for joining us. I'm Sandra Gaman Singh. Have a wonderful evening. We'll see you next time.